Hello, comrades, boys and girls, and all my friends around the world. Welcome to this first Q&A session where I'm gonna answer, well, most of the frequently asked questions. But first of all, I want to wish you and your friends and your family amazing 2017, and may your wishes come true this year, or at least may you get one step closer to achieving them. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about, or actually answer, 5 most frequently asked questions, or at least something that I have seen pop up on the YouTube comment feed the most frequently. So first of all, about all the languages that I speak, as you may have guessed by the title of this video. Second of all, the kind of gear that I use to shoot my vlogs. And finally, something about the particular episodes, particular vlogs, about Nürburgring, about Ring Garage. So for example, in the vlog 24, a lot of people asked why the guys have taped off their license plate. Then what happens when you crash a rental car at the Nürburgring, whether it's Ring Garage or any other rental company. And finally, one of the most common and obvious questions, why are the vlogs so late? So now that you see when those items are going to appear in this current video, you can either jump to them or stick with me. Okay, so let's start with the question, how many languages do I speak? Ну, для начала, я родился в России, в Москве, где и сейчас на самом деле также. Так что, это был первый язык, который я выучил. Потом я переехал в Голландию, и я должен сказать то, что я его подзабыл слегка. Мне пришлось даже, мягко говоря, переучивать его. И до сих пор, хоть это был мой первый язык, это мой родной язык, я не настолько могущественный, не настолько качественным владею, как, например, голландский или английский, что, да, может быть, это не слегка стыдно, но такова моя жизнь. И да, это довольно-таки смешно, то, что мне приходится вам объяснять, то, что я умею разговаривать по-русски, потому что если вы пришли на этот канал с Бориса, многие говорят, он не настоящий русский, он подделывает его акцент. Да, я подделываю мой акцент, потому что я говорю без русского акцента, как вы уже знаете. Number 2 is the language English. Obviously, woohoo, Captain Obvious. But no, for those who want to know, when I taught or when I learned English was actually when I was a little kid and I started to play computer games back in the early 90s. I didn't actually learn it from going to school, but learning from the computer games. So yeah, then again, computer games do not only cause violence, they actually make you smarter, in my case. And I made my language, my pronunciation, and all the special terms and everything. Actually, I learned them in university because my academic studies were in English. 3. Le français. Quand j'étais un petit enfant, ma mère voulait déménager au Canada ou en France, donc j'ai dû apprendre le français. Finalement, nous avons déménagé aux Pays-Bas, mais j'ai continué à apprendre le français jusqu'à l'université. Malheureusement, je n'ai parlé beaucoup depuis 5 ans ou plus, donc j'ai presque oublié, comme vous voyez. What language was next that I studied? Let me see. Oh yeah, of course. Zoals jullie dus nu weten, ben ik uiteindelijk naar Nederland verhuisd toen ik 11 jaar oud was en heb ik dus Nederlands geleerd. De eerste 3 maanden vanuit het boek en daarna zeiden mijn ouders, of ja eigenlijk mijn moeder en stiefvader, weet je wat, ga gewoon naar basisschool, dan leer je daar maar. En na vele tranen heb ik het uiteindelijk gedaan, dus ik heb een aantal maanden van groep 7 gedaan, vervolgens groep 8 en vervolgens eigenlijk al mijn middelbare school in de universiteit. Grappig detail, ik ben nog minder dan een jaar in Nederland geweest toen ik mijn CITO-toets moest doen en heb ik 541 punten behaald, waardoor ik theoretisch gezien naar VWO mocht gaan, of eigenlijk keuzeklas HAVO-VWO. Maar de conrector van mijn middelbare school zei, weet je wat, dadelijk heb je problemen met Nederlands, want het is misschien eigenlijk gewoon maar een heel stom toeval dat je zo goed hebt gescoord en dan hebben wij het weer gedaan, dus ga maar lekker naar MAVO. Of ja, toen heet het MAVO, nu heet het VMBO. En toen ben ik zodanig boos om geworden dat ik uiteindelijk eigenlijk betere punten voor Nederlands haalde dan Nederlanders. grappig detail. Maar ja, dus ik spreek ook Nederlands en nu weten jullie ook waardoor. En ja, vele mensen zeggen dat ik eigenlijk half Nederlands ben of wat dan ook. Genetisch gezien klopt er niks van, maar nou ja, jullie snappen het verhaal. Laten we doorgaan naar 5, glaube ich. Ja, Deutsch. Deutsch habe ich in der Schule in Holland studiert, aber leider war das mehr ein Muss wie ein Wille. Und dadurch habe ich es wie Französisch später fast ganz vergessen. Aber wie ihr jetzt wisst, bin ich nach Deutschland gezogen, bei der Ringgarage zu arbeiten und fing ich mich an, die deutsche Sprache wieder zu erinnern, nicht lernen. War das oder der, ich vergesse jedes Mal der, die, das ist allgemeines Problem, glaube ich. Naja, der Vorteil von deutscher Sprache ist, dass es ähnlich zu Niederländisch ist. Aber großer Nachteil ist auch, dass es ähnlich zu Niederländisch ist. Deswegen ja, brauche ich nicht das zu lernen. Ich kann immer improvisieren, ist das korrekte Wort. Aber ja, anderer Nachteil ist, dass beim der Nürburgring fast niemand und ganz niemand, nicht ganz niemand, aber fast niemand Deutsch spricht. Wenn du Englisch sprichst, ist das ganz gut. Und ja, wie du jetzt siehst, ist mein Deutsch eigentlich ganz scheiß. Okay, 6. Lingua Latina. In scuola 2 annos Lingua Latina 12. Marcus et Aemilia in horto ambulant. This probably doesn't make any sense, but then again, yes, I studied Latin in 2 years, for 2 years in high school, but the problem was they actually didn't study us how to speak it, but to understand it. And this last sentence, like Marcus and Amelia are walking in the garden, is like the most common sentence that you can find in the books. And then again, you don't really need Latin today because it's a dead language. You only need it if you want to study law or medicine or become a priest. And I didn't want to become any of them. Well, I actually wanted to do something in the law, and I studied something of the law. But you get my point. If you want to know, I did study something of Latin, and that helped me a lot to study my final language and actually to understand the majority of European languages because, as you may know, many languages are derived from Latin. But yeah. And finally, we had 6 Latin. 7. Italiano. Ho lavorato in ristorante italiano per 3 anni e perché la maggior parte del personale parlava solo italiano, ho deciso di imparare la lingua italiana per capire i loro pettegolezzi su di me. Ma alla fine ho imparato solo le cose come tavolo 15, insalata portofino, spaghetti bolognese. Oh, ma che cazzo fai? Dai, prepara i piatti. Minchia. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Vaffanculo. Yeah. Stupid Godfather reference, but yeah, you get the deal. Well, my brain is like cooking right now for speaking like 7 languages at the same time, but I hope that has answered your question about that. So now that you know all the languages that I speak, or at least understand, because I'm fluent in 3 of them, Latin is not even a language that I speak, I could understand it technically, or decipher it, and as you can see, my Italian and French and German are actually quite shit, probably. I still want to ask you to pose most of the questions in English only because many people have the pretty much same questions, so that will prevent of people asking the same question all over again. That's probably the most important reason. Of course, if it's like Italian and it's going to be like a very complicated question about, I don't know, displacement and horsepower of a car or whatsoever, and technical details, it's not that I will not be able to answer it, or maybe I will use Google Translate. Yeah, you get my point. So let's stick to English mostly, although I've seen that most of the users, if the question is asked in German, a lot of other German speakers actually jump in and answer it for me, which is like amazing. So, but yeah, just small detail. And to finalize this first part about languages, let's make this video slightly educative. Yeah, my best tip to give you if you want to study a language is do not spend, well, depends on how much time you are spending on studying a language, but on average, do not spend more than 3 months on memorizing the words and everything and everything and everything and the grammar. And after that, it's done. You cannot, well, on average, you cannot improve it even more. So if you want to study language, do that. And after that, you have to move to a country where this language is spoken, and you will be forced to study it. And yeah, in about like a couple of weeks, you will see your progress like shoot up. So this is like my major tip. And of course, most importantly, you have to want to study a certain language. And starting at a young age definitely helps, because if you start at like at 30 plus, you will most certainly will keep an accent forever, like I have now, most certainly with German. Yeah, let's move on to the second part, is my gear. What do I use to shoot my vlogs? And it's kind of simple. I only use my phone, which is Samsung Galaxy S7, and I always shoot in 4K. Well, the image quality is quite good. At least I didn't hear anyone complain. Surprisingly, microphone is also quite good. Of course, when it's like very windy, we have the issue, but yeah, it's just the way it is. I could use external microphones or and so on and so on, but when you shoot daily vlogs and you have to upload it, it increases the workflow a lot to synchronize the audio and everything, so that's why I do not do it. I do, however, have this, a gimbal. Yeah, this is a GoPro gimbal that I use for to shoot Boosted Borders videos and all the onboard footage that you see when Boosted Borders is riding shotgun on the Nürburgring. I have similar for my phone. Unfortunately, since vlog 31, I stopped using it because you may have seen in a couple of vlogs, for those who have watched most of the vlogs, well, like it started to switch it off itself, or it wasn't completely leveled. So then I thought, you know what, never mind, forget about it. Unfortunately, it does make the footage a lot more shakier without using the gimbal. But I'm afraid this is how it is going to be until the vlog 152, approximately. Yeah, there are about 152 vlogs that I shot and didn't release. Yeah, and speaking of 152 vlogs, why didn't I release them all at once? Or why didn't I start releasing them after shooting them? It was the intention. However, the precise answer is going to be given in the vlog 49. So in less than, well, in about 1.5 weeks from now. And this is all I can say for now. Something happened, something bad has occurred, and I actually always expected it to happen. And it was just only the question when it was going to happen. And it's like, yeah, you will see it all by then, because I will need like maybe even half an hour to explain the whole situation, and you may see now by now on my emotions that I'm still pissed about it. So let's continue to the final two parts, and that's about the vlogs in particular. So the vlog number 24, about the worst track day of my life. First of all, I want to emphasize, because in the last couple of days this vlog became trending again on YouTube, so a lot of people say track days on Nürburgring are shit. No, definitely not. This was the only case in 2 years that I work at a Nürburgring that I experienced this freaking disaster. And like others have also said that it's common for that particular DSK track day. I really hate to say, well, to say bad things about certain organizations, but yeah, that's how it is. All the others, like you've seen probably in the next vlog, which was 25, everything was amazing. Or the vlog when the CT meet was happening, I don't remember exactly, 30 something. Destination Nürburgring, Sky Limit events, all those, picobello, amazing track days. So yeah, it's not that Nürburgring is shit, it's just that certain organizations either don't want to or cannot or don't have the resources or whatsoever, but you get the deal. So don't blame Nürburgring for not able for organizing track days, because in fact the only track days that Nürburgring is organizing is Tourist Fair and the public sessions. So to finalize about this question, why did the guys had their license plates taped off in the video? There are four reasons that we can think of. Why would you tape off your license plate? Actually, it's not an uncommon practice on track days in particular, because first of all, the insurance reasons. Some insurances, and there was like a case in 2008, I believe, in Holland, which like it went all over the news because the guy that got screwed over by his insurance for driving on the track, insurance called him, hey, we seen a picture on Facebook of your car on the track, so we cancel your insurance. Unfortunately for the insurance, this guy was pretty famous, or well, not famous, but very well known in the Dutch car community. So this story went all over the internet and all over the news. So the insurance was like, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, so basically the insurance can say we're not going to insure you because there's always a risk of you crashing the car on the track for which you're not insured. And after that, you just drive, like, tow the car away for 20 kilometers or whatever and say, yeah, I crashed it in the ditch, not on the track at all. And then insurance will have to pay. So this is the insurance reason. The second reason is the warranty reason. And again, just like with the insurance, a lot of warranty will say, we're sorry, guy, dude, whatever. You use your car on the track. This is not the casual usage of the car on the road, so we're not gonna cover that as a warranty. And there are actually many cases of supercars, actual supercars that you buy, which are marketed or advertised as like real race cars with technology derived from Formula One or whatsoever. And then you have a broken engine or even like a broken differential, something small. And the thing is, at some point it becomes a well-known problem when the cars are getting recalled for saying, yeah, we messed things up on the assembly line, and so the cars are getting recalled. It's a known problem. But in your case, this particular problem occurred on the track, so we're not covering, the warranty is not covering because you've driven the car on the track. But I mean, like, what? You advertise those cars as like being prepped for the track. Okay, the third thing is for the history of the car. If you're gonna sell it and the next buyer will trace it or find that the car has been on the track, it could, well, not could, it will lower the value because you cannot say that the old granny has driven it. And finally, the fourth reason is, well, like you've seen in the video, if you have something to hide, and in this case, if you're an asshole, you could technically trace the car down and either, well, burn it to the ground or whatever. So that's why people maybe would do something like that. Or at least this is the reason why I said, hey, this is the reason why he has taped off his license plate. Going back to the reason number 2 of the warranty, actually, there's a fun story that I remembered. As you know by now, we have 3. We used to have 4 Toyota GT86s at the Ring Garage, and all of them 4, when we first bought them, they had issues with brakes. So we went back to the dealer and we said, yo, can we have this fixed, please? Because, well, it's kind of messed up. And they said, oh, Ring Garage, what? Nürburgring rental business? Whoa, you cannot run the car on the track. And then we're like, sorry, to the manager who told us could you please turn around 180 degrees? And right behind me, there was like a huge billboard, like which covered like pretty much whole dealership. Toyota GT86, tested and developed specially for the Nürburgring. Is this false advertisement that you have? So what's it gonna be? We're gonna sue you for that, or are you gonna just replace our brakes? Yeah, sorry, but you know that actually we cannot do it, blah, blah, blah. So it's a kind of like always strange case with warranties of sports cars and supercars. They advertise it as being track prep, but in the end, they can still screw you over in the terms and conditions. And finally, the question is, what happens when you crash a car on the Nürburgring, in particular a rental car? Because, well, some of our rental cars have been crashed, and then you ask what happens to it. So let me cover this first, and after that I'll move on to what happens in general when you crash a car. So first of all, when you crash a rental car, you always sign prior to the car usage, you sign a contract that you're liable for insurance excess, which means that you have to pay for the car damages up until a certain amount. So for example, at Ring Garage for the Toyota GT86, it's 11,900 euros, which is almost half a value of a new car. That means, it doesn't mean that if you crash the bumper and the car is completely fine, but you only have a couple of scratches on the bumper, you need to pay 12,000 euros. No, if the car is completely written off, that's it. The insurance expert will determine that the crash value is like 20,000 euros. You only need to pay 11,900 as an example. If it's only the bumper, which are a couple of scratches, you only pay for the repaint, which is like, yeah, it depends what car, what paint and so on, a couple of €100 mostly. So there is that. And the same goes for every car rental company on the Nürburgring, any rental car. The Rent4Ring, for example, the one with the Swifts, offer to reduce the excess. So when you pay, like, for example, I don't remember their exact prices. I think when you pay 200 euros on top, your excess will be reduced from 8,000 to 4,000. It's just an example. That's what I know of, that they are the only ones who do that. Other than that, if you want to insure any other rental car or your own car for track usage, there are some insurances available, especially for the track days, tourist foreign sessions, and so on. I'll put a link down below so you can check it out for yourself, and it always depends on your history. So I cannot answer the question how much is it going to cost to insure this car for this track day. You have to contact them and they will answer the question for you. This is, by the way, not advertised. To be honest, I never ever used them, but they were recommended to me by my friend Andy from Sky Limit Events, and I can trust that man blind. So if he says it's good, I just trust him that it's good, because that guy's like a godfather of motorsports. So I guess I have covered pretty much what happens when you crash a rental car. But then again, what happens when you crash your own car? Yeah, of course, you have to pay for your own car, but there are some things that can occur. First of all, when you crash into the barrier, which is like, yeah, the guardrail of the Nürburgring track, and actually any track. I actually had to pay for Assen, which is a track in Holland, once back in 2013, I believe, when I raced for the last time there with my time attack car. Yeah, I crashed into a barrier and I had to pay a couple of €100. And the same goes for Nürburgring. When you crash into the barrier, you have to pay for the barrier damage, and it can vary between a couple of €100 up until a couple of €1,000. If you go pinball, then you're gonna have a bad time. And then there is also recovery fee, which means that if you crash that badly that you cannot continue, you will be charged for a recovery truck, which is actually, it's funny. On average, it's about €150, but I had cases when the victim, let's say, or well, the owner of a crashed car was charged more than that, either maybe because the truck owner had a bad day and he was thinking of making more money off them. I don't know what the reason behind that was, but I have seen this happening. The problem is, it's a controversial topic that I still want to throw in my 2 cents about it. The thing is, because of the fees, when some people crash and let's say the radiator gets torn off, they think, oh, I'm not gonna pay another €200 on top for recovery fee, or 150 or whatever it is. I'm gonna continue driving, and then they spill all their coolant, or in worst case scenario, all their oil on the track, and then you're gonna have a bad time. So some track days in particular offer free recovery services to compensate all that. And it's a question whether that should or should not be included in the Nürburgring policy for tourist foreign as well, because yeah, it does cause some nasty accidents because of that. There is one accident that I remember. There was a guy who lost his oil pan. Yeah, it completely went off. And his car, nothing happened to it, because he saw the oil lamp was flashing, and he went on the side. He saw, okay, something happened. But yeah, when you lose your complete oil pan, like there are liters of oil on the track. Well, behind him there was like Carrera GT, Ferrari, Porsche, and so on driving. So they all totaled, and there was like insurance court case for like 15 million euros or something. Yeah, it's like a big nightmare. But yeah, let's end on a positive note. I want to thank all of you. Currently, there are slightly less than 7,000 of you who have subscribed, liked, shared, and everything, all of the videos. It pretty much overwhelmed me yeah, it does make me happy. It exceeds my expectations a lot. I mean, it took me like over a year to achieve like 5,000 subscribers. It took me like slightly more than 2 weeks to achieve 5,000 subscribers on this channel, and they keep growing like by 300 or 400 subscribers a day, which is like crazy. Which is good. That motivates me to do more stuff for you, to continue releasing those vlogs I shot last year, and to make amazing new stuff daily and releasing on short terms this year. So yeah, you know what? Let's. I hope you like, first of all, this Q&A video, and most importantly, also dislike things. But when you dislike a video, I actually encourage you to dislike it. But please tell me why you do it, so I can improve the quality in the future. So I'm not gonna like scream, oh, like, subscribe, share. No. So I actually want to tell you to tell me what I should improve. Do not tell me that the footage is too shaky. I know that because I'm not using gimbal. Do not tell me that the microphone sucks. I need to get a microphone. I know that. But anything else, please let me know. Yeah. So again, thanks a lot, and see you in the Q&A video probably next week, because I think I'm gonna continue to do that if you like them, if there are going to be more questions. And yeah, have a good day and enjoy the coming vlogs, and especially 2017. Bye bye.